Right, that's better. Seem to have a lot more memory on the memory card now since I'm doing a mass delete. Funny how that works. Anyway, so first of all, I want to say thank you all for leaving the likes on the last video that I uploaded, which would have been your life purpose for MGTOW and non-MGTOW. 32 views, 6 likes, 3 comments, one of which from yours truly. I was going to do a different kind of video. Obviously, one of the things that's just cropped up in my YouTube feed has been a podcast chat between Joe Rogan and David Goggins. This has been posted by Rise Above. The title of the video is "You Don't Need a Purpose, They Are Wrong." And so I listened to the first, I don't know how long, 3 minutes. 3 minutes of it, and it's like the very thing that they've been talking about, Joe Rogan and David Goggins, is actually having a purpose. It's having a purpose that suits your life, a reason as to why you get up each morning, other than the usual mundane bullshit 9 to 5 and all of that. And I thought, yeah, it's about right, isn't it? It's about right. Now, with due respect, it's actually fuck the respect. That shit gets earned. It's quite ironic how two people that have made it in life, as it were, and look, they've both got like real good pasts, as it were, in terms of personal achievements and everything. You got a Navy SEAL there, if I recall correctly, Joe Rogan, and admittedly, I don't know a great deal about David Goggins. I know that he's had a channel for at least a year that has been jumping in and out of my feed for one reason or another. Not someone that I would personally follow. He's got some inspirational stuff to be saying, but again, it's like, here's a bunch of people, here's a couple of guys, and they're sitting there telling their audience that you don't need a purpose. And it's like, well, no, of course you don't need a purpose, because all the time that you're sat there and you're trying to be like them, right, and they're telling you, oh yeah, you don't need a purpose, you're still feeding into them in one way or another, whether it's financially or just mentally, emotionally, as it were. Oh, I want to be like this person, I want to be like Joe Rogan, I want to be like David Goggins. It's like, have you ever thought about just sitting back about being yourself, like I was saying in the other video? It's like, what the fuck? This is why I don't get on very well with people. There's a lot of that. And on the one hand, you've got all these. The other one actually, there's a dating coach that I followed quite a few years ago, and the information that he provides is quite helpful and useful. And it's quite funny because, like, it was about a week ago. I'm just gonna see if I can bring it up there. See if I can go onto his channel ever so quick and just call a few things out. Where are they? So it was just because it was so funny. Like just reading the titles of the videos. Where is it? It's just brilliant. So I probably should have paused it. Basically, long story cut short, he was giving a load of jip to the red pill lot, the red pill community, and I can't find it. It was just the flow of videos was just so funny, because he was giving jip to the MGTOW and the red pill community and all of that, and then it went from that to oh look, there's a fart in a can going past. Ugh, I can't. I'll just get a bigger bike. Stop fucking about and get a bigger bike. Anyway, go on, off you fuck. With your noisy fucking fart in a can. Yeah, you're really cool, by the way. The girls love you. Wanker. Sorry. I'm not fucking sorry. Definitely not. So where was it? He gave the MGTOW a load of chip. And then his following videos were like, she friend zoned me, still messages me why. why the nice guy gets jerked around by women. Thoughts on girlfriend kissing another man. Is it okay to have a toxic ex just for hookups? Hookup girls versus good women to have a relationship with. It's like, come on. Like, if you're having to ask these sort of questions, right, don't get in a relationship, because if, you know, you're going to come out burnt and angry again. I'm just saying. My ex gets upset over me talking to other women. Other tips? Yeah, who cares? She's your ex. I'm just saying. Do men really need to talk about their feelings with women? Probably not a good idea. It depends what feelings they're talking about. How to make her see you as an alpha after acting like a beta. And it's just so many people out there, and it's just like, I mean, look, I've watched the videos and I listen to them for information, really, like, okay, I could change that or do something different. Oh, here we go. Here it is. Following red pill nonsense got me dumped. Alright, closely followed by, does age matter to women? How to handle an emotionally unstable girl that you want to date? You don't. How to stop thinking about my ex? I caught my wife sexting another man. What should I do? She said she wanted a future with me, but went behind my back to meet someone else. She said she wanted a future with... oh, that's that one twice, is it? Why red pill guys are delusional about women and loyalty. Should I tell my girlfriend that other women are hitting on me? Should I tell my girl... all these videos are twice, man. Friend into girlfriend. She became single and asked me out. How to find more discipline in your life. My wife cheated on me, but I'm in the doghouse. Yeah, always saying about red pill fam. I'm just saying. How often should you text your girlfriend? How to get over the paralysis of analysis. Accused of cheating and broken up with. Any tips? Yeah, you might as well cheat at that point, because it ain't going to get any better. I'm just saying. She cheated on me, but now suggests an open relationship. Yeah, but the red pill nonsense, yeah? But the red pill nonsense. Dating relationship coach. Relationship coach, yeah? Yeah. You've got lots to suggest. Lots. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to take all credit away from him, man. He's done good, but at the same time, it's like... I suppose it's... You got to... I think maybe it's a case of, oh yeah, put him down, make myself feel better. Because look, he's in the dating game, right? He relies on weak beta men. So sorry, not sorry. On investing in his books and whatever else, and his one-to-one coaching and all of that. When look, realistically, you know, he needs these guys. And they think that they need him. And look, he does have his uses, but I think if he's making, say, $1 million, I mean, is it... And I'm not saying that one person is going to invest $1 million into him. Obviously, this is a cumulative thing, you know. Say over a year or 2 years or whatever, of guys buying his books and his products and all of that, and watching his videos and monetizing and cash apps and whatever else, right? At the same, I'm like, I guess that there are guys out there that are that uneducated, should we say? And look, that's not to say that red pill guys aren't uneducated either. Like I said before, it's like if you honestly think that all women are the same, then they're not. They're not. It's just your experiences with the choices you have made, and personal responsibility, right? You know, you got to be real about that, man. You got to be real about it. You know, you chose to be with these people. You might have had little inklings as to what they were like before you get to them, before you got with them. You might have chosen to ignore red flags, you know, the warning signs that we get, not listening to your gut feeling and all of that. And then once you do that, it's like you literally haven't got... You can't blame the other person. Right? Like I said in the other video, it's like the scorpion and the frog. You know, the frog can't really complain after the scorpion stung him when they're halfway across the river, because the scorpion's going to do what the scorpion's going to do. You know, and the frog should have listened to his gut instinct before allowing the scorpion on his back to get to the other side. I'll be like, no fam, you can swim your ass over there. See what you think of that then. Dickhead. I had originally done another video prior to doing this one, but it would appear that I deleted that one as well. And it was, I'm going way off topic with this now, by the way. It's nothing to do with what I've just spent 10 minutes talking about. Speaking of which, 1020. I've often been curious as to my own personal affinity, or whatever the word is. I think it's maybe an affiliation or an affinity with Native American culture. I've often wondered what that is. Always been really drawn to it, always felt really at home. And then earlier on, I was watching a YouTube, like a talk, not a conference, and it was with a Native American Indian elder, and I was listening very attentively because it made a lot of sense. And for those of you that are more into the God Squad, you might find it a bit offensive, but fuck it, I don't care, it is what it is. And it didn't actually explain a lot to me about, and it's not so much to do with, oh yeah, I'm rebelling against Catholicism. I was brought up a Catholic, that's why I've got a master's degree in self-guilt and shame. I say that half jokingly. It's true though, right? There's a lot of, in Catholicism, there's a lot of like shame and, like guilt inflicted upon us, And this elder was sort of saying like how, and I also, whilst listening to this talk, I went through a moment of 11:50. It was actually 57 when I looked, but whatever. I went through a moment of having some self-guilt, some white guilt, as it were. And whereas I was listening to what was being said attentively, and rightly so, and it's like just how government and the church worked together in order to, I suppose, try and wipe out the Native American populations, all the different tribes across America. And it was a typical sort of, it was very similar to the Salem witch trials and everything else that went on with that. It's the exact same, I think, although Salem witch trials did happen later on. And again, it was down to the same sort of thing, outlawing everything that was just a way of life for the Native Americans, I tell you what, man, it don't half hit home just how sucky humans are, in particular when they start bringing in policies and all this, and especially when you think of recent times, 2020, 2019, 2020, making things policy for the greater good and all of that shit, and it's like, the greater good of who, sorry? Right, oh, you don't want to talk about that part, funny how that works, isn't it? Yeah, what a coincidence, not a coincidence. But meanwhile, they're basically telling everyone that they're going to take away their rights. This is exactly what they did. This is exactly what they did then. This is exactly what they did. When I say then, I'm talking about to the Native American populations. It's exactly what they did in 2020, and it's just been this repeated history, and it's always been done for the same thing. It's always been done over control, over land. Some would argue for population control, 1404. I could say that's a thing. But I think more than anything is to take away rights, and to take away from one to give to the other, whilst in the meanwhile causing us all to divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. And again, these are all videos that I did actually do between 2020 and 2021, when we were going through that phase of bullshit, which is exactly what it is. Now it's just fear-mongering. Oh yeah, you've got to go and stand in line and get another jab in the arm because we fucking said so. And it's like, meanwhile, I'm still waiting to fucking die, if you don't mind. I'm just saying, #pureblood. Yeah. That what doesn't kill me only makes me stronger. And in the meanwhile, you have all the air quotes scientists. Oh, it's because such and such. You know, you've got such and such blood type, or you've had this, and 1502, yada yada. You know, and it's like no, maybe everyone's just being bullshitted. And in the meanwhile, well, you know, you've heard of placebo effect. You know, the placebo experiment. They got like 10 people, 5 people, whatever it was, that had migraines or headaches. And they gave some just white powdered tablets that had nothing in them, and they gave tablets that had either paracetamol or ibuprofen or whatever to others. And even the ones that had the tablets that didn't have anything in them said that their migraine headache went away. But there was nothing in there, it was a placebo effect. 1541. But yeah. Anyway, digressing back on topic. And with that, with regards to the whole religion and everything else, in particular Catholicism and, you know, MGTOW red pillars and all of that, it's like, you know, we all know the scheme of what it's been about in terms of being able to take from, it's a bit of a sided view, I get it, but being able to take all the fruits of the labour of the man to give to the woman just because they weren't happy in the relationship, or maybe they were batshit crazy and the guy had to leave, but as a result of having to be in that situation ends up giving up the kids, the car, the house, part of his money and all of that, right? You all know the scenario, I don't really need to go through it. But I think this also comes from the mentality, and this is something that elder was saying, 1546, was basically in Catholicism and religions like that, it teaches you that God is one, right? That there is one God, and this is something that even if you read through the Bible, you know, oh yeah, you won't worship any other deities. So God isn't actually denying the fact that there are other deities, gods, goddesses, whatever out there. What is being stated is that you shall worship only one. And then when you look at the way the Native Americans lived their life, they understood, they've always known full well that you can't just, it doesn't just work with one. That's a very, I suppose, parallel way of seeing things. You know, you need to be working in balance. That's the way the world works. It's in balance. And when you look at the greater perspective of relationships between men and women, male and female, you know, the more so modern women now, and whereas because of this mentality of one, even though a lot of them will reject Catholicism and religion and that sort of a thing anyway, where they, to the point where they actually believe that they are, in this instance, the goddess, right? They think that they are a goddess and they should be worshipped and pedestalized, and, you know, they can't do no wrong and their shit don't stink, right? Fully forgetting the fact that they couldn't have gotten there without the hard work and labours of love in some cases from the masculine, from the guy, from the man, right? But they're quite happy to sit on their little pedestal and demand how they want this, that and the third from any given man for the sake of having a relationship, which is obviously going to be one-sided yet again, because a lot of these women, they can't, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being like an introvert and just, you know, being like hermit type lifestyle and just living things on your terms, because a few rocky relationships for whatever reason, again, as I said previously, 1859, they were paths that you chose to entertain for whatever reason. And I'm not saying it's a case of you might have deserved the punishment. What I'm saying is you still chose that, right? I'm not saying that you're deserving of anything bad. And regardless of whichever way this works, whether it was a guy in a bad relationship and he was on the receiving end, or a woman and she was on the receiving end. But the point is as with the Native American elder, what he was saying is that the whole idea with religion, and you could argue in this instance for girl power advocacy, 1937, you know, and how they don't need no man and all of this, and it's like, yeah, well, without man you wouldn't be where you're at in the first place. Just saying, no hate intended, no hate intended. but still, like, there's no, a lot of the time with a lot of these modern women, there's no actual give and take, there's no compromising, there's none of that. They just want it their way or the highway, and often find themselves alone, miserable, and in some cases collecting cats. Just saying. I've got a problem with cats. In fact, there's the cats I feel sorry for. What did they do? They haven't got a voice. They can't say no. I'm just saying. But still. And, to wrap this up, lastly, one of the things that really sort of, it stung me when this elder said it. And it was a question from someone in the audience about, people that aren't of native culture and wanting to, I suppose, experience part of it. And it's like, his answer, I understand why he said it, and I get it totally. It's like, the best thing you can do is not get involved. And it's that similar thing, and I'll use something that happened in this country, and I'll use animals as an example. You see an indigenous animal of the, in fact they're not an animal, they're a, whatchamacallit, the red squirrel. I'm trying to remember the name. Trying to remember the name. I can't remember it. The red squirrel, right, is indigenous of the United Kingdom. And of course, when the grey squirrel from the United States came over, and of course, typically they're bigger, larger, fatter, more fiercer, eat all the hamburgers. Sorry, I'm joking. But they are bigger and fiercer, and so one of the things that has happened as a result is they used to kick the shit out and kill the red squirrel, to the point where the red squirrel became an endangered species. Now, I'm not saying that this is what the elder was suggesting in this instance, but when you introduce something foreign to something that has been cultured the way that it has, sure, sometimes it can work out quite well, but at the same time, it will also put an individual where they might want to ask questions 22 as to why things are the way that they are, rather than sitting there and just accepting, because you've been taught a certain way, and when you've been indoctrinated for who knows how many years, and if your heart and soul really isn't and spirit really isn't open to learning and change, to a new way of life, to a new culture, it's going to be as near as damn it impossible, and it's almost a wasted effort from anyone that is wanting to accept, in this case, the Native American, Indian populations, wanting to accept someone that isn't of their own, as it were, into their society. I mean, look, everything could work out potentially with certain individuals, but I think in a lot of cases, with, like I said, with the amount of indoctrination that we get anyway from life, I mean, look at the way we are now. That's why a lot of people, they don't know about intuition. They don't know how to follow their gut feeling. Sometimes we ignore it, and they're not the times I'm talking about, 23, 33. But to unlearn everything that you have learned within a certain lifetime or a life period, say 20 to 30 years, it's going to take, as this elder said, another 20 to 30 years to unlearn everything that you have learned and then learn something new and accept it. So it is a bit difficult. Very challenging to say the least, but and I know we're all going to sit back and be like, oh yeah, well, I'm the exception because... But there are some things that even I would be like, I'm not sure about that. And it's like the minute you do that, it's like, well, you're questioning their way of life, man. It's like you've already put doubt, not into them necessarily, but into your belief system. So I get it. So, but I do have a lot of time for the Native American way of life and everything, all the ceremonies and all that go with it. A lot of people don't. A lot of people, like I say, just pick and choose 24, 33, what they want, and make do with that. But as far as I'm concerned, that is not the right way of doing something. Anyway, thank you all for listening. Thoughts, comments and opinions, feel free to jot down. As always, will be an interesting one, actually. Till the next one, stay cool, stay free. Peace out.